Welcome to the latest episode of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on your favorite podcast app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. Android, use Spotify. Also, check out the Five Reasons YouTube channel for everything going on in South Florida sports. Also, subscribe to the Discord, $2.99 per month. Link right there in the description. You know the deal by now. Most heat anywhere, most heat information, conversation, all the different channels. Separate everything for you. Make it easy. Get you off of Twitter. Also, get host updates, information that doesn't come from anywhere else. Check it out. Bypass the Apple upcharge. It's off the floor. Also, Prize Picks, WNBA, and MLB All-Star games coming up. Make sure you get in there and play and get $50. Pretty good deal. Put down $5. Use the code 5 FIVE. Get your 50. It is legal in the state of Florida and many other states around the country. So check it out. It's Prize Picks. Use the code FIVE. And now, today's episode.
Mercy, luxurious. Heat Nation. Yeah. Mercy and Lago. Down to Biscayne. Yeah. Five on the floor. Ride for my dogs. Where here's the thing. You can check the score. Hustle hard, couple scars. Wearing bubble frogs. Down to Biscayne. Kept the floor playing. Got it all band. Y'all seen the block. Stop with one hand. And Pat, we trust, it's about to have the guts. We're here to bring the heat, y'all can hang it up.
Welcome to Five on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the Five Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
All right, welcome back to Five on the Floor from our new studios in Las Vegas. We changed the lighting and switched places. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at Five Reasons Sports. I got Digital Adele. You can follow him at Digital Adele. Don't know if you'll hear this episode until the Heat play again, but they are still playing in Las Vegas. Big topic of conversation has been Kel'el Ware. And since I know that, some thought that we were a little hard on Kel'el in various episodes, I don't understand why everybody thought I was hard on Kel'el when literally his coach called him out and did so for the first time that he's called anybody out that I can remember since calling out Dion Waiters very briefly at training camp in 2019 in Palm Beach County because Dion talked about wanting the ball more. I think Alex Toledo and I were at fault for that. We asked Dion about it and then went back and asked Spoelstra about it, and Spoelstra said, we haven't talked about that. And Dion wasn't much longer with the Miami Heat. That's the last time I can even remember him saying anything remotely critical about a player publicly. And before that, of course, and people don't want to remember this, there's a lot of Hassan Whiteside criticisms publicly. We know how that ended. So that's why people get worried about this. Now, I brought on Adele for this because I want to allow him to be fair to Kel'el Ware, because I know that some have perceived that you have a negative bias against Kel'el, which I don't believe you do. But I want to let you speak on it. And just to be clear, Kel'el Ware, as we're speaking here, played a lot better yesterday, a lot better. And it wasn't just the scoring, although he did hit a three right from the start. And he did lean into a hook, and he did a whole bunch of things you wanted him to do, but he also second jumped on defense, which led to one of his blocks. This team does not box out whatsoever, this summer league team, but he did grab some rebounds pretty strong with both one and two hands, stuff that we've been talking about. And then afterwards, and I give credit to Ira for asking the question, why don't we see this all the time? And Kel'el, who seems like a very nice young man, looked at him, kind of paused and said, you will. So I don't think anybody is saying that this is, the Heat have drafted a bad person or anything like that. It's not that. It's just about getting consistent effort. And also, just to clarify one thing, there was some upset about a video that was posted on the Five Reasons Sports Twitter account, which, yes, I do run, a video of Ware not looking so great, working against Vladimir Golden, who's their two-way that they picked up. And I just want to be clear on this. I came into the tent. They have the Heat are at Resorts World, okay, in Vegas. So I came into the tent. We're allowed to see this part of it. We don't see all the practice. And I was talking to some other folks and then just like, okay, I'll take a little video of Kel'el Ware. Literally, that's the 33 seconds I got. Okay. And they were not flattering. And then Spoelstra came out and spoke about Ware right after it. And his comments were not flattering. And so I kind of saw on some of them on video what Spo's been talking about. So I posted the video. That's it. Yesterday I posted 7 videos of Ware looking a lot better. So there's no agenda here. We're just trying to report what's going on. So I will say to you, because you were in the stands, you watched him yesterday. Do you have an agenda against Kel'el Ware? And what did you see yesterday that may be different from what we've been seeing?
No, I don't have an agenda against Kel'el Ware or any of the prospects that I evaluate or break down. One thing that I want to say is that when a coach comes out and says something, that means there has to be some sort of pattern of behavior. It can't be one-offs or one time or things like that. It's usually a pattern. So for Spo to call out Ware, it had to be multiple instances of various different things to call out professionalism. So one of the things I saw that night was how dominant Ware can be. To me, Ware has the talent to be a top 5 center in the league. I mean, he can block shots with the best of them. He can, catch alley-oop dunks with the best of them. He's just an athletic monster. And he's put on some weight. You could see it in some of the post-ups when he got the ball in the post. He moved with force, and he was able to get to the rim and do some nice things. The things you want to see from Ware is consistency. And one thing we don't know, some people are intrinsically motivated. That means they have the will inside them to want to just dominate every time. Some people are extrinsically motivated. They want money or they want fame or whatever. I don't know what Kel'el Ware's motivations are, but what I can tell you is that he doesn't give that same level of ferocity, force, and to bring his self-will out in practice and in games on a consistent basis. But when his coach called him out, now suddenly you see that beast. He calls himself Humble Beast, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You see that Humble Beast come out, and he's able to dominate guys. So what we're really hoping for, and I'm speaking on behalf of the fans, the coaches, and media. I can't speak on behalf of the coaches. I'm not a coach. But what you want to see from Ware is you want to see that consistency, that professional attitude to go to work. You're clocking in, you're clocking out, and you want to see that on a night in, night out basis. Now, there were some mental lapses, which you're going to see at times. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was where he chases blocks and he leaves the guy open for the offensive.
Well, Hassan used to do that all the time.
I didn't want to say it.
I mean, that was one of the big criticisms of Hassan.
Yes.
Now, I don't think, and again, it's hard to speak to players' motivations.
Correct.
But I don't suspect the motivation with Ware is the same as it was with Hassan, which was that Hassan wanted to show everybody how many blocks he had, which played into triple doubles with blocks and his 2K rating and all of that. I don't get the sense that that's it with Ware. I feel like it's something that just needs to he needs to sort of retrain himself on this in collaboration with the coaching staff. So again, I don't want to get into motivations, but I will actually say we have erred towards the side of his best intentions as opposed to assuming their Hassan-like intentions, which were really about me, not team. And that's why Spo used to say privately at times that Hassan worked hard, but he didn't work with. He wanted him to get in the weight room with other guys. He wanted him to make other guys better with screens and all that sort of stuff. And that's the thing that didn't really happen. It wasn't that Hassan didn't work on his body. It was that he didn't do it in the team context. I don't know with Ware. We don't know him well enough, but he seems like he takes criticism to heart. And he said he did in response to Ira. He said, my coach said something. But I actually have a theory on this that goes beyond that, and that's something we'll explore on other podcasts. And I know Matteo Mayorga from our network wants to talk about it because he didn't love Spoelstra coming out publicly, and I did. And the reason I did, is one, Spo can do that now. Okay, he is the longest tenured coach in the NBA. He can say whatever the F he pleases. But two, this is a social media age, and players respond to what their peers and what the public is saying about them. And I actually think that has more effect on most players in the modern age than what their coach says. Okay, but if their coach says it and then it gets out in the public space and it becomes somewhat embarrassing, then you want to prove people wrong. And I don't care what the motivation is. That's what we're talking about. Intrinsic, extrinsic, whatever it is, as long as the motivation leads to more consistent play. And that's what we saw yesterday. And I almost think, and on the other side, we'll kind of put a bow on this, but I almost think what happened in this last game sort of makes it harder for Kel'el to drift again because now we know it's in there. It was in there the next day.
Yes.
So summer league or off-season workout or whatever, this is what they want to see all the time. And there's an example right in his room, in his front court, of a guy in Bam Adebayo who was sort of considered to be an unpolished type project when he came into the NBA, and now he's a two-time Olympic gold medalist. Just look at that. Okay. Look at the way that Bam brings it on a daily basis. That's what they want to see. And I don't think they have lost hope in it.
No.
I just think that they want to see it more consistently. All right. On the other side, I'll get your final thoughts on this. Before we do, want to mention Real Estate Shop. You can find them here it is. There we go. Real Estate Shop. RealEstateShopFL.com. That's two P's and an E. Amanda Javier and their team. Look, first thing, great family, and they run what I consider to be a family business. If you have a family, you're looking for a house in South Florida, not the easiest thing to do. You're dealing with the interest rates, all the different areas. There's a lot of inventory now. Got to be able to pick through it. Make sure you find the right price. Or you're trying to sell your house. That's even more complicated. Check it out. It's realestateshopfl.com or Fort Lauderdale Realtor on Instagram. Again, realestateshopfl.com. Okay, so from here, where does this go? Because I feel like there's going to be like a bullseye on him as training camp starts. Spoelstra has talked up Niko Jovic and set him as an example of someone who didn't maybe have the professionalism when he first come in, but does now. And they could be in competition for a starting role, depending on what direction Spo wants to go into. Where do you think this goes with Kel'el Ware?
Well, I think it could go in two different directions. Where I hope it goes is another matter. I really want to see him lock in on the details, right? I want to see him set screens at a 45-degree angle. I want to see him make sure that he has spatial awareness in boxing out, because he boxed out yesterday.
Yeah.
He didn't do it all the time. I saw him one time take two guys, box him out of the play, and let his guard get the rebound. If you can do that once, you got to be able to stack days and do it over and over again. Those are the professional things I want to see from Ware. Just lock in on the details. And if he did his homework early and got great post position, even if he isn't at his full body composition yet, he's going to be able to dominate guys in the league. Not every center, but a lot of centers. And so I want to see him just hone in on those little things, get back to the fundamentals, and play as a team and be a good teammate. And if he can do those things, I think he ends up starting. Now, the intriguing part is the fact that they don't have a backup big.
Yeah.
If you start Jovic,
right,
and you have the Norm Powell and you have Tyler Hero, you got Bam Adebayo, and Andrew Wiggins, now you have somebody that can spell Bam, and you don't lose that ability to be competitive on the glass and rim protection. And so if you could do that, I could really see Ware feasting on the backup bigs of other teams.
Yes.
And so I think it could go that way as well. I could see Jovic taking that starting spot. So it's going to be an interesting training camp battle, and it's going to be something you're really going to want to keep your eye on.
A couple things on this. Number one, it does seem like his teammates like him, so I don't think this is an issue there also. I think they want to see him succeed. You see the way that they interact with him. But also, I'm going to bring up a Hassan comparison in a good way. I remember when Spoelstra put Hassan on the bench in the 15-16 season, which, by the way, did not prevent Hassan from getting paid, because he got paid in the 16 offseason right off the bat, okay? But in the 15-16 season, he had Amari Stoudemire as kind of a token starter because Amari was way past his prime.
Right.
And Amari was actually upset that later on he kind of got phased out for Hassan, and then Hassan got hurt in the playoffs. But Hassan coming off the bench was a force. He absolutely was a force. He wrecked. I was in a game in Dallas, and he wrecked the Mavericks backups in that game. And Ware could do the same thing. And there is a lot to be said if you don't really have a backup big that you're comfortable with, to bring Ware off the bench so he can come off and play with either Jovic or with Bam, depending on foul trouble, depending on the direction that you want to go, and you don't lose anything. They can also play through him more often. And the other part of this, too, is that if you're bringing Davion off the bench and you have a really good point of attack defender, it'll allow Ware to handle his normal responsibilities a little bit better. So I am on board with the idea of Jovic starting, and it's not a slight to Ware, but I do want to see the competition in camp. And I think Spoelstra has now set it up where it's not guaranteed that Ware's going to start. So, okay, get your best performance out of him in camp, and you may still go another direction, and then you'll have to navigate that. But I just don't think at this point, just like, nobody, second year of the league, you're not above playing summer league. Second year of the league, you're not above earning a starting spot. And I just feel like that's where they need to be with this. And then it comes down to, okay, what's best for Jovic? And I asked Fulch about that, finding the right role. He says we were kind of finding it. Well, that was off the bench actually last year, at the end of last year, so before he got hurt. So that's my curiosity now to see how it plays out. But they've got a couple of really good, interesting young players in the front court with Bam. The three of them can be really effective together, and I think that is one thing to be excited about. The fact that the talent is there for Jovic, and where there are different reasons why it hasn't come out to full degree. But Ware was ahead of schedule last year, and Jovic, I think, was starting to come on before he got hurt. All right, Adele, appreciate it. We'll do more episodes as we go forward. Also, check out the other episode here in the library that we just put up recently about guys that maybe the Heat should look to poach, because the rest of the Summer League team is not looking so hot right now. And thanks to our sponsors, Real Estate Shop, FL.com, Prize Picks. Use the code FIV.